You are so needy, child. Hello, nerdlings. You now have a cat butt and tail in front of you. Hi. Welcome. Hello there. Maybe I should get to introductions first. We've added another cat to our family. This is Myrtle. She's very needy. We found her. We have been looking for her owners. She does not have a chip. We took her to the vet. We got her all checked out. She's very malnourished. But yeah, look how freaking skinny she is. We are working on fattening her up very quickly. She eats quite enthusiastically. And yeah, so she got her first round of shots and she's all healthy, and we gave her a bath, and yeah, she has her flea medication on right now, and she's so needy. She's very sweet. So now we have Minerva, Molly, and Myrtle. So, you know, all of the Harry Potter names. Hi, so we're gonna do a Q&A. Oh, you're getting me with no makeup on because life has been stressful with current events going on. Apparently I have a therapy cat. We are here to have happy things happening on a channel. While we're doing Q&A, I figured we could work on Piper. We've been on a break from LARP since, you know, the world's been closed due to COVID, and so I started redoing her wig. I've redone her so that she is ventilated down the middle back and around the edges so that I can style her in pigtails or up, and you won't be able to tell, and she looks like a rat's nest right now. But yeah, so if I part her down the middle, she just looks like a regular part. Well, there's a little off to the side. But yeah, and then I have weft on the sides, and then on the very edges, she's all completely ventilated. Like, this is the nape of the neck, so that way I can have her up, and you can't tell, it's amazing. I love it. And anyway, I am working on her forehead right now. Let us answer some questions. I didn't get a ton because, you know, my channel's small. Stop knocking over the lights. I posted on Instagram and Facebook. Hi, sweetie. Question from my dear friend Ben, who is one of my coworkers. Where do you get your cosplay ideas? Most of it is just whatever I want to dress up as. What characters do I like? What characters do I like their costumes? Usually I like their personalities as well, and I relate to that character a lot. So MegaCon is not happening, right? It got technically canceled, and now they're doing some special thing, of course, the same weekend as my wedding in November, so, you know, not going. But MegaCon was supposed to happen in April, and then they moved it to June, and then they canceled it. But what we were going to do for that, which I would have been working on, and now I put aside because now I don't have a reason to wear. Sweetie, you're so needy. I love you. She's a good cat. She's very needy. When I cosplay with other people, a lot of it is communicating about, hey, what do you want to do and what do I want to do? How many days are we going? So like, how many costumes do we need? So we were gonna go 2 days this year because, yep, that was about it. And I let Zach pick. He loves Alice in Wonderland. So we were going to do our own versions of Alice and Hatter. We were going to base them around the colors of the Disney animated film, and we were going to, they were still going to be very recognizable as Alice and Mad Hatter. So like, she was still gonna have a blue dress, but she was gonna be like my own design of the blue dress and the white apron, and Hatter was going to be the yellow coat, not the orange coat that they have in the parks, because his coat is yellow in the cartoon, and the like tealy, turquoisey pants. And yeah, So I was working on that. I had our wigs done. And now they're just sitting there because right now LARP things are more important. I'm losing my hairs. But yeah, so that's how we chose that. And then the other day we were gonna go with our friend Sierra and we were going to do Pokemon. So Sierra was going to be Officer Jenny and I was going to be Nurse Joy, and Zach was going to be a humanoid version of Totodile. And that was going to be lots of fun. And I have the costume. I need to make a few alterations to it. Normally I make my costumes. Sometimes if I just need an easy way out, I'll just buy something if I can find something that looks good. My Nurse Joy costume was not that expensive. I can't remember where I got it at the moment. Sierra found a place that had them on sale or at a decent price, so we bought them. And I need to make a few alterations to make it the way I like it. And Zach's costume for Totodile is a whole bunch of things that exist that we put a little finishing touches on. And it was super easy, and I still need to do his wig, but that can wait. And then my Nurse Joy wig, of course, I was doing myself. So I have the bangs done, and I didn't get to the pigtails. And now it's just sitting there, because I'm building a wig right now. Because I have all the time in the world. Yeah, so that's what we were doing for MegaCon. When I've been on my own, it's a lot of times, what am I feeling right now? What am I really attached to right now? I really have to be passionate about a project to want to work on it. So like, I did a female version of Captain EO, Michael Jackson's 3D show that we used to have at Epcot. And it used to be at Disneyland as well. I love Captain EO. And I've always wanted to do it, so I created a female version, and that was really fun. A lot of times it's what is currently relevant, what are we currently liking and obsessed with, and yeah. So that's how I usually pick what my cosplays are. Next question. How many of your cosplays are original? I've seen you do some great ones. Thank you. That is from my friend Lay. I love her. She's wonderful. How many of my cosplays are original? I don't think any of my cosplays are technically original. Like, okay, if I'm gonna go with original, I'm gonna say like my versions of my D&D characters. So like, I did my makeup for Chithra. I'd say that's original. I haven't actually taken her to a convention or anything, but I guess that's a kind of a cosplay. If you're going by original, like original like those, I haven't done very many. If you want to say original, like me taking something that already exists and changing it, I like doing that a lot. It gives you a whole lot of freedom. It gives you a much easier time with other people because they're not going to nitpick you for being completely accurate to like the movie version or whatever. So like I've done female Captain America, which I loved. I love my female Captain America. Captain EO was a female version, so that I also got to like tweak around a bit. I gave her a skirt instead of pants and had white leg warmers underneath and all that fun stuff, and yeah. But like original would mainly be my D&D characters or my LARP characters, which I don't really consider my LARP characters cosplay because it's LARP. Like, that's not me dressing up as a character, that's me being a character. How much time do you devote to working on your personal costumes and cosplay during the week? How much time would you like to devote to personal projects? That's from my lovely friend Amanda. I love Amanda. We went to high school together and we played D&D together. How much time do I devote? Recently, I've been doing quite a bit. I'm still having days where I do nothing. I haven't gotten much done today because I've been very emotionally distraught. Oh my god, they clipped your nails too at the vet. Oh, that was so nice of them. It depends on what time of year it is. If it's crunch time, if it's coming up on a convention, if I've got like 2 months before a convention, I'm working my butt off. Okay, so currently not currently because I'm not working, but like when I was working noon to 8:30 p.m. That was my 8-hour shift. A lot of times, since we have an hour for lunch, I will bring things with me and I will work on them during my lunch hour. If I have time, if I wake up early enough in the morning and I have time before work, I will work on things before work. So like sometimes I'll get an hour or 2 in before I go to work. And then if I work at the end of the day, maybe I'll get 2 more hours in. So like somewhere between like, I'd say sometimes I get like between 2 and like 4 hours a day in on what I'm working on. If I'm productive enough and I don't procrastinate like I'm clearly doing here. These are 2. These come from John and Dan, who are some of my LARP friends, and they kind of go hand in hand. One is, what are some of the best tips for someone just getting into makeup, and any recommendation for tips on blending on top of a full face of makeup. Very good questions. Advice. Watch drag queens. There are plenty of videos if you want to watch the girls that have been on RuPaul's Drag Race. There are also tons of other queens that have videos up on YouTube that do their makeup and you can watch them. I have learned so much from watching drag queens. Obviously I learned a lot in college because that was my major, but like current trends, ways to set things that I would have never thought of. Watch your drag queens. They are amazing. Ways to blend on top of a full face of makeup. This is going to go along with good things to know for the beginning. Okay, so you're putting on your makeup, whether you're using an airbrush makeup or if you're using cream or a liquid or a water-based, whatever it is you're using, you have to set your makeup properly. You need to take like a puff, a makeup puff, like the round circular puff things. You're going to press it into some powder, and then you're going to press it into your face. It's going to press the powder in, it's going to set it in place. Then you're going to take a big fluffy brush and you're going to gently brush off the extra so that you don't just have powder sitting on your face. This is going to set your makeup. It is then going to give your makeup a great base to do things on top of, because you're setting it with powder, so therefore powders can go on top of it. Or creams, honestly, but like, yeah. Set your makeup. That's gonna be your biggest thing. You're gonna wanna set it properly. Always start on a clean face. Get your foundation on there nice and evenly. Set it. And then things should be able to blend a little easier. I'm a firm believer that makeup doesn't have to be super expensive. I use a lot of Ben Nye products, which aren't expensive, but they aren't cheap either. That's what we learned on in college, so I'm just kind of like Ben Nye. I use a lot of their powders. I've also ordered some cream makeups for Jester. I'm gonna do a Jester cosplay, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, so there is that. Set your makeup, and then you should be able to blend nicely once it's set properly. Don't use a setting spray until the end, when you finish everything. So set it with powder, then work on top. Clean brushes help with blending, or using the last color that you used if you want to blend it into the previous color. But yeah, watching drag queens. Watching drag queens has taught me so much about makeup, and I highly recommend, you know, watching the tutorials, watching them do their makeup, and listening to them and their advice, and everyone does things differently. So doing makeup and learning how you like to do things is going to be something that you're just going to have to watch things, learn things, and try things out yourself. Practice a lot at home before an event. I'm currently waiting for a new wig to arrive for a new character, possibly. So I will be playing around with some more makeup. I don't know if I'm going to put that into a video because I don't know if I want everyone to know about it, which is now defeating the purpose because I'm talking about it, but it's fine. Anyway, so those are my 2 on makeup. So my friend Evie sent me 3 questions, one of which ties in with one from another person. But we're gonna go with one of Evie's questions first because then it kind of leads into everything else. How did you discover LARP? LARP, for those of you that do not know, is live action roleplay. It's like playing Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of sitting around a table and talking about what you're doing, you're actually running around and doing those things and fighting with like foam weapons and stuff. It's super fun. I have tons of videos covering it and what happens at my games that I play at, so if you're interested, you should check those out. But yes, how did I discover LARP? I always kind of knew LARP was a thing, like back when I was in like college and I first started going to conventions. I thought it was super nerdy and I was not interested in it. And then as I got older, I kind of learned more about it, but like I still didn't really know much about it. And then I discovered Momo O'Brien's YouTube channel, which you should check her out. And then in following her, I then found the LARP House, which is now Azrai's channel. She renamed it. And there's also the LARP Girl, which is Kaza's channel. You guys should check them out if you want to see more about different LARPs. They are 3 huge LARP content creators here on YouTube. They have wonderful videos. So anyway, I learned kind of I had a general idea of what LARP was from their videos, and I really wanted to get into this. And I knew my friend Sarah, who used to work at Disney with me. She LARPed because I remember her talking about it, and sometimes like, you know, on our lunch breaks, she would bring things and work on them. And I love crafting and I love cosplay, so I was always like, what are you working on? And she'd be like, oh yeah, I'm working on this new light thing to help like show this magic that my caster uses in LARP, and you know, always talking about things like that. So Sarah's always talking about it, and Sarah is one of our staff members on our game, so she's super duper involved. She is the marshal of the elves. She's the person that's in charge of all the elves in game to make sure that everyone's playing elves like they should be. I reached out to her, we FaceTimed for like an hour and just kind of talked about it, and she talked to me about her game that she plays, that she helps run and plays at, and she told me about a couple other games here in Florida, and hers just kind of seemed right up my alley. It was like fantasy, you know, vaguely Lord of the Rings based, like it's not Middle Earth, but like, you know, we have orcs and we have dwarves and elves and shirelings, which are hobbits, and you know, it was just like, oh well, this sounds kind of like Lord of the Rings. That's totally right up my alley. So I learned more about their games, and that's how the cookie crumbled. That's how I learned all about LARP. And the 2 questions that tie together, Evie wrote, what is your biggest inspiration in creating Piper? And then Shelby, who is one of the other girls from LARP, says, what inspired you to create Piper, and what are some of the challenges of being in play? So inspirations and how did I create Piper? Well, found out about LARP, had no idea what I wanted to play, and then it popped into my head that, you know, we always joke about how like, oh well, you know, everyone like jokes about what they would be in Lord of the Rings. Like, I'd be an elf, I'd be a dwarf, I'd be a human, what would you be? And I'd always be like, I'm a hobbit. I want to sit in the green grass, and I want to eat food, and I want to smoke pipeweed. I'm a hobbit. So I asked her, I was like, are there hobbits in game? And she was like, yeah, they call them shirelings, but yeah. And I was like, do you have to be a certain height? Because I'm 5'9". And she was like, nope, you can be however tall because your character's going to be short. You're not short, but your character's going to be. So I wanted to be a hobbit because that's where my heart lies. So in building Piper, I literally went in with the whole notion of, I want to be a hobbit. That was literally like it. So I was put in contact with Spencer, who is the marshal of the shirelings. They are lovely and wonderful, and they helped me build Piper. I literally went to them and I was like, I wanted to be a hobbit. And they were just like, yeah, we're gonna build you, we're gonna build a hobbit. And I don't know, she just kind of came together. Like, I intended for her to be mostly based off of Pippin. Not completely like Pippin, but like huge inspiration from Pippin because he's my favorite. Mary and Pippin are like everything. So, but surprisingly, Piper has seemed to have a bit more Sam in her than Mary and Pippin. However, yeah, she's a big blend of like the three of them. She's not very Frodo-like, but she is very much the others. But yeah, she just kind of came together. I just wanted to be this adorable hobbit that ate food and always had food with her, and just she was cute and adorable. And the whole thing of her casting magic came from me learning that I didn't want to be involved in heavy combat because of my PTSD. So magic made sense because I can stand back at a distance and throw spells, and she just kind of tumbled all together. And yeah, some of my biggest challenges with her, I would have to say, goes hand in hand with my PTSD. I'm trying to get over it. It's going to be a long, slow journey, but I'm trying. I cast my first actual spell at the last game we were at. I lit some plants on fire because they were creepy and scary and had eyeballs, which was good. But like, that was the first spell. That was the first spell that Piper cast, and it was really encouraging and rewarding. And I need to get into the point where I can throw spells during combat. There have been so many times when like things happen and I'm standing there and I'm like, I should throw a spell. I have my book in my hand and a packet in my other hand. I should throw a spell, and I don't because I freeze. And it's something that I'm gonna work on. And yeah, that's my biggest challenge of being in play. Because being her is super easy. She's a super cute, bubbly, food-obsessed version of me. She's very easy to play. My alt that I'm building is not going to be so easy to play. She's definitely going to be a challenge. Yes, I said I'm building an alt. There, are you happy? That's the thing I was talking about earlier. I'm not spoiling anything. Is there a new skill in costuming you're looking to learn? What's the next piece you're working on? A couple things, not a couple things. I learned a whole bunch of skills in college, and they've been things that I haven't done in a long time. There's different types of like fabric modification where you can take an existing fabric and sew it certain ways to create different patterns and textures. So like there's things like that I already know how to do that I never really continued to practice. I'm slowly learning embroidery. I started working on a new bodice for Piper, and I started embroidering it. I put it aside because the wig took the precedence. The wig was far more important, so this is what I've been working on. But yeah, so I'm working on embroidery with Piper. And then I'm going to be making some lovely gowns for my alt. And I'm going to be putting some of those fabric modifications into practice with that. So I am very excited and very nervous because I am terrified that I'm going to ruin it. So that's what I'm going to be working on, and that's exciting. I think we have one more question. Julian, who is a new LARPer, he has been to either 1 or 2 games. I'm not sure. He was at the last game, and I can't remember if he was at the one before that because I was not at the one before that. So he's either been here 1 or 2 games. But he wrote, you're a new character. What is the best way to get yourself involved / introduce yourself to other characters? Well, for Piper it was really easy. Also, first of all, I went and I monstered my first game. So I met a handful of people, and I had posted about my new character in our Facebook group for our LARP. So I had people already like, ooh, new player. The people already knew there was going to be this new Shireling around. On top of that, Shirelings are super friendly. They will barge up to anybody and be like, hi, it's nice to meet you. They're super amiable, they're super cheerful and friendly, and that's just how they are. It's very rare to find a shy Shireling. So yeah, I went into game, and so people were already expecting me, and then we actually started playing and people were just like, oh, it's so great when you play a Shireling because everyone, not everyone, but most people treat you like you're actually tiny. So like, my friend Jonathan, who plays Devoured, who is a human druid of the Farseni tribe, he just looked down at me as he talked to me. He's really tall to begin with, so he's already taller than me, but he just like looks down at me and like gives me this look as if I'm like teeny tiny, and he is so nice, and he was just like, ah, and he looks at my feet and just goes, you're a Shireling, and I'm like, yeah! So yeah, it's so easy when you're a Shireling. Ways to introduce yourselves. Go places you know there are going to be people. Go hang out at the tavern. Go hang out at the Iron Keg. Go hang out if you see people congregating somewhere, just go. Put yourself out in the open where you can be seen. Someone is going to probably say something to you. Probably not the grumpy characters. That's gonna be really interesting with my new character. My new character. She's she's not like me at all. She's really strange. All I'm gonna say. So that's gonna be really fun to play. Y'all will get to hear about that whenever she finally goes into game. Also, happy Pride Month! Thank you all for watching. I hope this was fun. I'm glad you got to meet my new kitty cat, Myrtle, who is snoozing on the bed right now. She's so cute. But yeah, if you liked this video, click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more from me. And I will show you this baby when she's done. Yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next time. Bye!